Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Huge NBA news today as the Los Angeles Lakers trade D'Angelo Russell and Timofey Mozgov to the Brooklyn Nets for Brook Lopez in the 27th pick in the 2017 NBA draft. I am a Laker fan, so let me explain this deal from a Laker fan perspective first, and then I'll talk about the Brooklyn Nets. I like this deal for LA. It's not a horrible deal like some people think it is on Twitter, although it could end up being one, and it's not a great deal. It just depends. Because what are the Lakers doing? They're trying to prepare for the 2018 free agency class. That includes LeBron James, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and DeMarcus Cousins. This deal now allows the Lakers to be able to sign 2 max players in the summer of 2018, or if they trade for Paul George now, they could re-sign Paul George and still sign 1 extra max player this summer of 2018. They're going all in. They're trying to quicken this rebuild, right? They're trying to reload instead of rebuild. Instead of waiting for Russell, Ingram, Ball, and Randall to develop, they just want to have Ball and Ingram and then let everyone else sign to the team like a Paul George or a LeBron James, and then let them have a nice combination of both veteran leadership and rookies. And hell, maybe even they'll trade Ingram and Ball. We'll see, because right now, who knows? But they're trying to quicken this rebuild. And I like that, but you have to be careful because, look, if Paul George, LeBron, Russell Westbrook, DeMarcus Cousins, if none of them come here, this will be a disastrous trade. As D'Angelo Russell is about to go to Brooklyn and average 20+ points per game eventually. I think this year he could average it probably like anywhere from 16 to 20, and then from then on 20+ points per game. He's going to be a very good player for the Brooklyn Nets. This is a guy that has been way too criticized lately. This guy averaged 18 points per game after the All-Star break this season. A guy that we're looking at him saying, oh, he doesn't make his teammates better. He's a 2 guard, not a point guard. No. Do y'all actually watch D'Angelo Russell? He's a master in the pick and roll. He sets up the roll man from time to time. He does it time and time again. He's pretty precise with his passes when he wants to be. He can be a little turnover prone. Even go back to look at this guy at Ohio State. He has some no-look passes. This guy can pass. And now he's going to be a star point guard or shooting guard for the Brooklyn Nets eventually. I think personally, now you're going to see him get a lot of minutes, get a lot of usage, get a lot of playing time, get a lot of shots. You're going to look at him and say he's on the level of Devin Booker. I honestly think he has the same amount of talent as Devin Booker. The only difference is Booker gets all the shots in Phoenix and Russell doesn't get nearly the amount of minutes or shots in LA. Now he's going to Brooklyn. You're going to see D'Angelo Russell getting Devin Booker type hype, where he may get 50 points a night. Not every night, but one night, have 50 points. You'll watch him on Free Dawkins, and you'll say, wow, look at D'Angelo Russell when he's always been that player. The Lakers kept him under 30 minutes a game, and his shots were somewhat limited with the Lakers. Now with the Nets, he's going to go off, and he's going to be a big-time player eventually. Not a top 10 player in the NBA, not a top 20, but a top 50 player, a pretty good player, and eventually a max player. I still believe that in D'Angelo Russell, as long as he keeps his head on straight, and I feel like this move is going to help him because he's been a little too star-driven in LA. He's loved the hype and the glamour and being on TMZ a little bit too much. Going to Brooklyn, I think, will focus him more, and he's going to end up being a very good player and piece for them, a piece that they sorely need. I mean, their team is absolutely bereft of talent, of young talent as well. They drafted Karis LeVert last year, who I like out of Michigan. He had a decent rookie year, but didn't get much playing time. Now you have Russell, who's going to be a big-time player for them. Okay, at least for them. I think eventually averaging over 20 points per game, getting 6 assists per game, and maybe we'll see if he can end up being an all-star. It's going to be close, but maybe. I still see that within D'Angelo Russell. But for the Lakers, they're not really interested in waiting on that. They're not trying to go all in on Russell. They're trying to quicken their rebuild by going after free agents to 2018. And if it works, then this trade will be fine. Although D'Angelo Russell will have success in Brooklyn, it won't matter to the Lakers because they'll be back in the playoffs with Paul George and LeBron James. if Paul George doesn't come, if LeBron doesn't come, if Russell Westbrook doesn't come, if DeMarcus Cousins doesn't come, and we're looking at this Laker team in 2019, and they have Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram who are doing well, but D'Angelo Russell is also doing well in Brooklyn, and the Lakers will have gained almost nothing out of this trade, we'll look back and say, okay, this was not a good deal, because Brook Lopez only has one more year left on his contract. And by the way, just to talk on Brook Lopez for a second, in terms of this year, he's going to make a good impact. Now, you pair him with Lonzo Ball, who can set him up nicely, set Randall up nicely, set Brandon Ingram up nicely. And by the way, the Lakers are going to take Lonzo Ball at this point. It's pretty clear. For a second there, about a week ago, I thought they were going to take Josh Jackson, and I think that was going to be the case, but then Josh Jackson had a terrible second workout. They're back on Lonzo Ball. They're going to take Lonzo Ball. So Lonzo Ball can help Brook Lopez. Lopez averaged 20 points per game this season. Only had 5 rebounds, though, as a center. So it's a good thing that we have a rebounding power forward next to him in Julius Randle. So I look at Randle, I look at Brook Lopez, I look at Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, assuming they don't trade for Paul George, which they still really could. Look out for that. That team could win 30-plus games to me, but I still look out for the potential Paul George trade. Now there's no D'Angelo Russell, but they could package Jordan Clarkson and or Julius Randle, and or now they have 3 first-round picks, so they can package both the 27th and the 28th pick, and or Julius Randle, and or Jordan Clarkson. There's going to be a lot of maneuvering, but I still look at that deal and say that's a potential deal. So you could end up having Lonzo Ball, Paul George, Brandon Ingram, maybe Randall, but probably not. He probably has to be traded, and Brook Lopez, and that is a team that I think could make the playoffs. It'd be close, it'd be tough, but I think it could. I'd probably only have them for about 35 to 40 wins, but it'd be close to me, so I'd like to look out for that. So ultimately, I like this deal for the Lakers. I love it for the Nets. They finally have a piece to build around. You're going to tank next year, although it won't matter because you won't have a pick. Then, to me, for the Nets, you tank in the 2018-19 season as the 2019 draft, because I love to look ahead. Y'all know me. The 2019 draft is the draft you want to tank for, as you have 2 absolute beasts. I believe in them. In Marvin Bagley, a big man, power forward / center, and Zion Williamson, a forward who has ridiculous athleticism, LeBron James-esque, Amari-esque athleticism coming out of high school and then eventually college. That's the draft you want to tank for. So now you have Russell. Let Russell score 20-plus points per game and stink, okay, for the next 2 years. Tank in 2019, get a big-time player, pair him with Russell, and now the Nets are looking up. But it's going to take years. I mean, we're talking about 3 years it's going to take before the Nets can finally even be close to being good again. But at least now you see a path, whereas before there was no path. Brook Lopez was going to leave next year, most likely, and that would have been it. Now the Nets have a piece. And as for the Lakers, it just depends. Hopefully they're right and that they get a big-time free agent next summer, or they get Paul George right now, or this deal will be really, really bad, as to me, Russell will have success in Brooklyn. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the D'Angelo Russell being traded to the Brooklyn Nets deal. Remember the deal again, I didn't really explain it. D'Angelo Russell and Timofey Mozgov traded to the Brooklyn Nets for Brook Lopez and the 27th pick in the NBA draft. Now the Lakers have 3 first-round picks in the 2017 NBA draft, and I think they're going to couple a couple of those to get Paul George. There you go. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.